I am truly appreciative and thankful to the Anaheim residents, to the hotel workers, to the hotel owners, both small and large operators, for taking the time to come here tonight. And I also want to thank the hoteliers and the union members that met with me to educate me about how this ordinance affects their business, how this ordinance affects their families, their neighbors, their lives, their businesses. But I do have several concerns about sending this to a special election. First, as was noted in the economic impact reports, there are both positive and negative impacts of this ordinance. The reports were done under an advanced timeline, and I think both of the groups responded expeditiously given the time frame that they were under, but there's still a lot of unknowns. Wage compaction, the effects on private facilities, nonprofit spaces, churches, the effects on our other bargaining units, and the enforcement mechanisms that we potentially are going to have to deal with in 3 months. We talked today about approving a new budget. And I would like certainty in what our revenue stream is going to look like, and having a potential ordinance passed 3 months after we approve a budget does not aid in the decisions that we need to make over the next few weeks. I think having time to prepare, to gather more data, to plan for any potential impacts that's going to benefit the city allows for us to confidently plan for a 23-24 fiscal year. Second, I believe there is a better path forward and an ordinance that can be agreed upon that benefits everyone in this room. I have met with both hotel owners and members of the unions. I have not heard from either side that there is an issue with worker safety requirements. And I have heard loud and clear that there may be a compromise on the wage issue. We have workers that are making over the minimum wage, and we have workers that are already at this $25 threshold limit. And I've heard from those hoteliers that are under the municipal average of $18.50 that there is willingness to take another look at their wages. And last, I just believe there's room to negotiate on the work restrictions. As a small businesswoman myself, I know that nobody wants to violate wage and hour restrictions or overtime regulations. And I've also heard from our hotel owners that recruiting and retention is hard enough in today's economy. So overworking current employees is not going to be a beneficial or viable business strategy. But we have two paths forward right now. We, the city, the hotel industry, and the workers are in a car careening towards a cliff. And nobody, not one of us, can jump out now. If we slate this ordinance for next year, I feel like we will have time over the next month or two to craft something, address these issues, and bring an ordinance forward that works for all sides. In the alternative, with a special election called this early, we are negotiating while driving towards the cliff with our foot on the gas. We have maybe a week to try to put something together. I just believe that a longer runway, when all sides have committed personally to me, and I know other council colleagues, to speak and hear each other out, is the best path forward. Last, and what really is the most important for me, is to me the issue of fairness and democracy. And I believe this no matter what the issue is or what side of it you are on. A special election should be used sparingly, as it is the most expensive path and the path most likely to end in skewed results. It's going to cost between $1.27 million to $1.4 million more. And I've heard a lot of comments tonight about the need to educate voters, and I 100% agree. But a special election does not achieve this. And I have no doubt that both sides are going to retreat to their corners and they are going to turn out their voters. But this affects everybody in Anaheim. And I want the largest amount of Anaheim residents to participate and weigh in. And historically, we know this not to be the case with special elections. So I just struggle to support a path that is more costly, invites the least amount of participants, with the least amount of time for our voters to analyze this very complex ordinance. And I really appreciate you all for listening.